June 6, 1995.
We had a lot of problems during those 5 years, and so we were ready to be aggressive and do anything that we could to get pregnant.
Thousands of couples came here looking for a miracle. What some found instead may turn into a nightmare.
One had a child at the clinic, and they were concerned about the biological origins of that child.
I have seen a copy of a log that shows from one of my clients that her eggs going to another patient.
Tonight, the scandal, the ethics, the murky multi-million-dollar business of making babies.
This is ABC News Nightline. Substituting for Ted Koppel and reporting from Washington, Cokie Roberts.
Most of us know someone, a member of the family, a good friend, who's gone through all kinds of pain and effort to have a baby. The stories are often heartbreaking as they tell of incredible indignities suffered at considerable cost that sometimes result in the great joy of having a child, but when it comes to the more high-tech methods, many couples are disappointed. Suppose you added a scandal to this already stressful situation. Suppose the doctor you had come to see as your savior was secretly taking advantage of you, using your eggs, part of your body, without your knowledge, and planting them in other women. That's alleged to have happened at one of the world's most reputable fertility clinics at the University of California in Irvine. The doctors there deny the charges, but the university finds them so credible that it recently closed the clinic. Here's ABC's Tom Foreman.
If it is true, it is a violation of every medical ethic and not a few laws. If it is true, it could destroy careers and tear families apart. Larry Feldman represents two of the women who believe their fertilized eggs were given to others.
The ramifications are unbelievable. Is a child an heir of these parents? Could the child, do you have to provide for these? Would you be able to get this child if you wanted to get custody? Should you?
Have your clients shown any indication of wanting to do that?
They want to know the answers. They want to know the answers.
In the search for answers, last week, the University of California, Irvine ordered the world-renowned Center for Reproductive Health to close its doors. The founder, Dr. Ricardo Ash, is accused of taking eggs from women, fertilizing them, and putting them into others without the biological mother's consent. The procedures resulting in at least 3 births. He is also accused of taking eggs from women for research without permission. Sidney Golub is a vice chancellor at UCI.
Our evidence is credible. We would not have gone forward with this investigation with the vigor that we did in the absence of credible evidence.
Lloyd Charton is the doctor's attorney.
Dr. Ash denies each and every one of the allegations of wrongdoing. At no time did he ever do anything that wasn't consistent with the desires of his patients.
And that is the problem for former patients. It is impossible to know right now who is telling the truth.
We feel that gift could be a good treatment for you.
7 years ago, Bill and Wanda Nagy were featured on ABC's 2020 when they went to the clinic. She had tried to get pregnant for years with no luck.
Hello? Am I?
Are you?
I'm very, very pregnant.
Oh, great.
Using a procedure called GIFT, which Dr. Ash pioneered, eggs were removed from Wanda and united with Bill's sperm inside Wanda's fallopian tubes. The result? Twins. The Nagys allowed the clinic to place 9 more embryos into frozen storage in case they might want more children. When the scandal broke, suddenly they worried. Perhaps those children were already born.
We wouldn't have known the type of family that those children were raised in. We would have no control over their upbringing, no control over any facet of their life, and it would be very difficult to live with that knowledge that there are children out there that are ours.
To understand how such a thing might have happened, it is perhaps better at this point to ask why.
How did they look?
11 years ago, Dr. Ricardo Ash was a miracle worker. His gift procedure was a major breakthrough, touted as considerably more effective than in vitro fertilization, IVF, which was itself only a few years old.
when you average all the patients in which gift is being done, about 35% of all of them will become pregnant. If you compare that success to the success of IVF, it's practically double.
But in recent years, other advances have pushed gift out of the limelight. Couple that with the growing number of fertility clinics competing for patients, and some suggest the doctor had plenty of reasons to want both more eggs for research and more pregnancies in his clinic.
What is unclear at this point is, did these doctors do this intentionally, with fully knowing this for some profit motive, as some of the evidence seems to indicate?
Or is the whole scandal the result of accidents, mistakes? University administrators believe clinic records might answer those questions, but so far the doctors have refused to release them, saying they are confidential. The school is suing for the documents.
We don't understand why we haven't been provided with these records. We're astonished that we haven't been provided with these records.
Federal authorities have made it clear the university could lose $14 million a year in research money if improprieties exist and are not adequately addressed. And since the clinic was staffed by university employees, if a mix-up occurred in the lab or storage, the doctor may not be the only one liable.
You have to understand, Dr. Ash didn't go in the morning, unlock the door, clean up, do the paperwork, sign the forms, track the forms. He's a surgeon. He harvests eggs. He does surgical procedures.
School administrators indicate they are willing to accept blame.
If we bear responsibilities in areas, then we need to correct them and deal with them. But we want the truth.
Still, the university paid almost $1 million to 3 school employees who first reported the problems, and a condition of the payments is that they not talk publicly about the case. The patient's attorney thinks both sides are trying to hide the facts, to hide their own culpability.
It really doesn't matter which one of these people did it. They're both responsible.
The doctor's attorney says there is one other possible explanation: extortion. Shortly before the scandal became public, the doctor says this letter showed up at the clinic, demanding $300,000, signed Dr. Malcolm X.
When Dr. Ash received the letter, he made it clear at the clinic that he wasn't paying any money because he hadn't done anything wrong, and then the allegation surfaced.
Right now, there are at least 7 different investigations going on into this whole affair, by the university, by the state medical board, by the local district attorney, even the National Institutes of Health. So far, no one has been proven guilty of doing anything wrong. The Nagys finally demanded answers. They are now convinced their embryos are stored safely at this other clinic, operated by an associate of Dr. Ash.
You are content now that there's not a problem with what happened in your lives?
That's correct.
But this was something that you did need. You needed something more than somebody's word now.
Yes.
But while the Nagys were reassured, and the problems are alleged to have happened to only a very few patients, thousands of couples have gone to the clinic over the years, and now many of them have been caught between the university's allegations and the doctors they trusted, wondering who is telling the truth and what, if anything, really went wrong. For Nightline, this is Tom Foreman in Irvine, California.